All right, let's go over the practice test 4. And we start by graphing the equation and finding the slope. Notice this equation is written in a slope-intercept form. So this is the general equation of a slope-intercept form, mx plus b. So if you compare to y equals 5x plus 2, then you would know that the slope m is equal to 5 and b is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. So in this case 2 is the y coordinate of the y-intercept, and this is the y-intercept 0, 2. So we know that the slope is 5 and the y-intercept is 0, 2. So now we can plot the graph, and let me show you how to do that. Okay, so let's choose the line option here. Here we go. Start by graphing. So this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. We have a y-intercept at 0, 2. So this is 1, 2. So this point is 0, 2 on the y-axis. Since m is equal to 5, we can add a 1 in the denominator. And now notice I'm going to start from this point 0, 2, go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then write 1. So that's how I plot the line y equals 5x plus 2. I start by plotting the point 0, 2, and then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the rise is 5 and the run is 1. So everything is positive. So up, going up is the positive direction. Going to the right is also the positive direction. And now all I have to do is join those two lines, and this would be the graph of y equals 5x plus 2. We already know the slope is 5 and also the y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay, let's try to do the second exercise now. On the second exercise, we need to graph the equation and find the slope of the line y minus x equals 4. So I would rather write this equation in slope-intercept form, and the way to do that, I would add x to both sides. That's going to change my equation to y equals, because minus x plus x will cancel, so x plus 4. Comparing this equation to the general equation of the slope-intercept form, mx plus b, I notice that there is nothing here. If there is nothing, it must be a 1. So right away I know the slope m is 1. We can do 1 over 1 if you like. The rise is 1, the run is 1. And the y-intercept in this case is 0, 4. So once you know these two, you can plot any line. Let's go ahead and plot the graph of y minus x equals 4. So we can draw the y-axis, draw the x-axis. We have a 0, 4, so let's plot 1, 2, 3, 4. This point is 0, 4. The slope is 1. We're going to go up 1 and write 1, and this would be the line. So this would be the line y minus x equals 4, or y equals x plus 4. And they want us to find the slope. Of course, the slope is m equals 1. The y-intercept is 0, 4. If they ask you to find the x-intercept, then all you have to do, plug it in, y equals 0. So to find the x-intercept, substitute in the equation y equals 0. This implies negative x equals 4. If you multiply both sides by negative 1, you will end up with x equals negative 4. So this point here is -4, 0. Okay, let's move to the next question, which is x equals 4. Graph the equation, find the slope. So x equals 4 is a special equation of a line, and it's a vertical line. So we need to remember, anytime we have to graph the equation of x equals a constant, it could be x equals 5, it could be x equals -4, it could be x equals -1, this is going to be a vertical line. So all we have to do, draw the y-axis, draw the x-axis, x equals 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now draw a vertical line. That would be the graph of x equals 4. It's a vertical line, goes through the point 4, 0. Any point on this vertical line has x equals 4. You can pick any point on this vertical line. It will have x equals 4. Let's pick a point. Let's say this point is 4. Estimate a value for y. Let's say y is 6. Take another point here. Let's take x equals 4. Estimate a value for y, -7. Let's find the slope. So this is 6 and -7. Okay, so the slope formula is change in y, so y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over change in x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Taking these 2 points, 4, 6 and 4, -7, let's find the slope. Change in y, okay? So be 6 minus -7. Change in x, 4 minus 4. Notice the negative becomes positive. 6 plus 7, 13. 4 minus 4 is 0. A number over 0 is undefined. And so the slope of this vertical line, m, is undefined. And the graph of x equals 4 is a vertical line that goes through the point 4, 0. Any point on this line has the coordinate x equals 4 and could be any value for y. Okay, let's go to the next question, which is number 4. Plot the graph y equals -3. So now let's go ahead and plot the graph y equals -3. This is called a horizontal line. Any y equals to a constant will end up with a horizontal line. So this is something we have to remember. Anytime y equals a constant, it's a horizontal line. And let's go ahead and plot the graph. It's a horizontal line, goes through, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is y equals -3, -1, -2, -3. Let's go ahead and plot a horizontal line and call it y equals -3. Notice on this line, any point will have the coordinates y equals -3. The y coordinate is -3. At this point would be 0, -3. Let's take another point. Let's say x is a 7 here, and y is always -3. Let's take another point here. X is -8, and y is -3. So notice when you select a point, you're going to go along the x. This is -8. Along the y, it's -3. Here, we decided this is a 7, and y is -3. And let's also find the slope. So m equals change in y over change in x. So change in y, -3 minus -3, over change in x, 7 minus -8. Okay, let's simplify. So again, negative is positive. So we end up with -3 plus 3. And denominator 7 plus 8, which is equal to 0 over 15. And therefore the slope is 0. A 0 over a non-zero number is a 0. So the slope for this line is 0. And you notice that there is no rise. This line is horizontal, so the rise is 0, and 0 over a non-zero number is 0. Okay. So let's go to the next question. We did already x equals -3. So okay, x equals -3 is another vertical line, and the slope is undefined. For y equals 4, it's another horizontal line. So y equals 4 is also a horizontal line, and I can plot it on this graph if you want me to. Let's do that. Change color, and this would be y equals 4. It goes through the point 4, 0, and this is 0, 4. And any point on this line will have a y equals 4. Any point on this line will have a y equals 4. Okay? So y equals 4 also has a 0 for the slope, m equals 0. Okay, let's try another example. The value V in hundreds of dollars of a storekeeper's inventory is given by V equals -1/2 t plus 4, where t is the number of years since the shopkeeper bought the program. What is the program worth 6 years after it is purchased? So all we have to do in this problem here is substitute t equals 6. Let's go ahead and do this. So V equals -1/2 t equals 6 plus 4. And so this is equal 6 over 1. Multiply straight across. You get -6 over 2 plus 4. What is 6 over 2? 3. So -3 plus 4 equals 1. And notice that V is in hundreds. So that 1 means $100. So this value will be $100. All you have to do is put V equals 1, and the 100 is already part of the answer. So let's graph this equation. Let's go ahead and graph this equation. So the equation is y, or V, we're going to call V equals -1/2 t plus 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph. So we're going to graph this in the first quadrant. We only use the first quadrant this time. This is V and this is t. Notice for t equals 0, the whole thing becomes 0, and this is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, notice the slope of the line is -1/2. So let me write it here. Let's put the negative in the numerator and the 2 in the denominator. Notice these are equal. You can move the minus up and down as long as you have one minus. If you put two minuses, then you change the fraction. But having the minus sign, the numerator or denominator will still have the same fraction. Okay, what does -1 means? We have to, from this point here, we're going to go down 1, and because of the +2, we're going to go right 2. Okay, and therefore this is the graph of the line. Okay, this point here is 2 and 3, right? Because here it is 2 and this is 3. So this is how we graph V equals -1/2 t. Remember, this is in hundreds and this is in years. So when you say t equals 2, this is 2 years. 2 years after we have, 2 years of the inventory, its price is $300 after 2 years. Okay? So this is the graph of the line negative 1/2 t plus 4. Again, to graph this line, you start by graphing t equals 0. This will make the whole term 0. We end up with only 4. So this is a 0, 4, this point here. Then because of the slope is negative 1/2, I chose the minus sign in the numerator, positive in the denominator. So from this point here, I'm going to go down 1 and write 2. And that's how I figured out this point. I join these 2 points, and this would be the line of v equals negative 1/2 t plus 4. Okay, this would be the line negative 1/2 t plus 4. What the product is worth 6 years after. So 6 years after, remember we already found it, for t equals 6 years, this would be negative 1/2 times 6 plus 4, and this would be negative 3 plus 4, which is 1. So let's say this is 1, so somewhere here, this would be 6, and this would be 1. So this point is 6, 1. Okay? So that would be the 0.61 here. Okay, let's move to the next question. And the next question is, given the graph of the line below, we need to find the y-intercept, x-intercept. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. So to find the y-intercept, look at this point here. And this point is 0, negative 6. So looking at this graph, this is called the y-intercept. So let's write it down. The y-intercept for this graph is 0, negative 6. So always you put the x-coordinate followed by the y-coordinate. In this case, the x is 0. Look at the x. It's 0. If you go along the x-axis. While the y, this is negative 6. On here, the x is negative 2, which is called the x-intercept. So the x-intercept for this graph is negative 2, 0. Always we put the x first and then the y. Let's see what else they want us to find on this problem. Okay, so which option is right? So 0, negative 6 and negative 2, 0. So this is the correct option. Okay, this is the correct option. 0, negative 6 and negative 2, 0. Let's go to the next problem. Find the y-intercept and for the equation below. So let's find the y-intercept and the x-intercept for the equation. Negative 3x plus y equals 19. To find the x-intercept, all we need to do, substitute y equals 0 in this equation here. So we end up with negative 3x equals 19. Now we're going to divide both sides by negative 3. So x equals negative 19 over 3. Notice the negative sign, you can either put it on the top or outside. So this can be written as negative 19 over 3, 0. This is called the x-intercept. To find the y-intercept, all we need to do is plug it in x equals 0 in the equation above. So negative 3 times 0 will be 0. So y is just 19. And the y-intercept is 0, 19. Remember, we always list the x-coordinate first, followed by the y-coordinate. So all it takes when you find the x-intercept is plug it in y equals 0 here. So negative 3x equals 19. Then divide both sides by negative 3. Notice the negative 3 and the negative 3 will cancel. So x would be negative 19 over 3. And this is called the x-intercept. And this is called the y-intercept. Okay, let's go to number 10. Find the y and the x-intercept of the equation below. Use them to graph the equation. So let's graph this equation. They want us to graph this equation. So I'm going to graph it here in this little spot. So the x 19 divided by 3 is negative 6.3. So it's going to be somewhere here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somewhere here. This is negative 19 over 3. And 19 is going to be up here somewhere. It's going to be up here somewhere, 19. And then we join the 2 points. And this would be the graph of minus 3x plus y equals 19. Let's plot the next graph, which is 3y equals 4x minus 12. Let's find the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, put y equals 0. So we have 0 equals 4x minus 12. See, I plug it in, y equals 0 here. Now we're going to add 12 to both sides to isolate x. So this would become 0, so 4x equals 12. Divide both sides by 4, x would be 3, which is 3, 0. And that's the x-intercept. Let's do the y-intercept. The y-intercept, plug it in, x equals 0. So if you put x equals 0 here, this whole thing becomes 0. And 3y equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 3. Y would be negative 4. And therefore the y-intercept is 0, negative 4. Let's plot the graph. This is the x and this is the y. 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is 3, 0. 0, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, negative 4. Join the 2 points and this would be the graph of the line. So joining the 2 points, 3, 0 and 0, negative 4 would be the graph of the line. So it's very simple. All we have to do, find the x-intercept, plug it in, y equals 0 here. Solve for x. 4x minus 12 equals 0. Add 12 to both sides. This will cancel. So 4x equals 12. Now divide both sides by 4. X would be 3. So this is the x equals 3 here. For the y-intercept, plug it in, x equals 0. You get 3y equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 3. This will cancel. Y equals negative 4. So negative 4 is here for the y. Join the 2 points and this would be the graph of the line. Number 11. Find the y-intercept and the x-intercept of the equation below, then graph the equation. Let's go ahead and do number 11. 2x plus 6y equals 12. To find the x-intercept, substitute y equals 0 in the equation. You get 2x equals 12. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 6. So 6, 0 is the x-intercept. Let's do the y-intercept. Substitute x equals 0. So it's always the opposite. For the x-intercept, we substitute y equals 0. For the y-intercept, we substitute x equals 0. So we'll end up with, going back to this equation, 2 times 0 is 0, 6y equals 12. Okay, divide both sides by 6. This implies y equals 2. Always put the x first, followed by the y in the order pair. Let's plot these points. This is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. This is 6, 0. So start by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This point is 6, 0. and then 0, 2. 1, 2. This is the point 0, 2. Join these points and this would be the graph of the line. So this would be the line 2x plus 6y equals 12. 2x plus 6y equals 12. Let's go over number 12. The average number of volunteer hours per Alabama resident was 12 in the year 2000. So we had 12 volunteers in the year 2000 and 18 in the year 2004. We had 18 volunteers in the year 2004. Find an equation of the line representing this data and graph the line. Let x represent the number of years after 2000. So x is the number of years after 2000. So first of all, we have to find the rate of change, which would be the m. So we're going to write this equation as y equals mx plus b. X is the number of years after 2000, and y represent the average annual number of volunteer hours. Y represent the average number of the volunteer hours, okay? Use the graph to predict the average number of volunteer hours per Alabama resident in 2012. Okay, so y, let's find the rate. Change in volunteers per year. So this would be 18 minus 12 over 2004 minus 2000. 18 minus 12 is 6. 2004 minus 2000 is 4. So 6 over 4 is 3 halves. So the rate is 3 halves. B, for x equals 0, it would be 2000. So that's going to be 12 volunteers. So B is 12. So this would be the equation, y equal 3 over 2x plus 12. Since x is the number of years after 2000, for x equals 0, it would be 2000, and that would be 12 volunteers. So this is the graph. Let's plot this graph. So this is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. The y-intercept is 12. So this is going to be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to rise 3, run 2. So from this point, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, run 2. This would be the graph of the line. Y equals 3 over 2x plus 12. They want us to predict. It's hard to predict this graph because this is not a graphing paper. We don't have a graphic paper here. But they want us to predict number of volunteer hours per Alabama in 2012. 2012 means x equals 12. Remember, x starts from 2000. So 2012, x will be 12. So 3 halves times 12 plus 12 equals how much? 2 by 2, 1. 12 by 2, 6. 6 times 3, 18. Plus 12 is 30. So in the year 2012, our prediction is 30 volunteers. We're going to have 30 volunteers in the year 2012. Let's go over the next exercise, which is number 13. Find the slope of the line. Okay, looking at this problem, how are you going to find the slope of the line given only the graph of the line? So the line, or the slope of the line, is always the rise over the run. So in this problem, if I make, let me try to plug this graph here. Okay, so this is the graph. Now I can write. Let me try to write on this graph here. Okay, look at this point here. Can you predict what is this point? This point is 4, 2, right? Or 2, 4. We start with the x, then we do the y. So this point is 2, 4. And this point here is 0, negative 2. This point is 0, negative 2. So we can use the slope formula, which is change in y over change in x. Change in y would be 4 minus negative 2, and change in x would be 2 minus 0. You have to be consistent. If I start with 4 minus negative 2, I have to start with 2 minus 0. Again, let's make sure we did this right. This point here is 2, 4. This point here is 0, negative 2. We can also do rise over the run. The rise from this point going up to 4 and then going run here. So from negative 2 to 4, that's going to be 6. And from here to here, it's going to be 2. So the rise over the run is 6 over 2, which is 3. So this is one way to find the slope. Rise, you can start from one point and go to the other point, rise over run. But we can do it also here. This is also 4 plus 2 is 6 over 2, which will also give me a 3. So the slope for this line is m equals 3. The slope for this line is m equals 3. Okay, let's go over the next problem, which is number 14. Let's go over number 14. Given the 2 points below, find the slope of the line containing these points. So here all we have to do is do the point slope. Use the slope formula, which is change in y minus change in x, or change in y over change in x. In this case, this is y and this is y. So 6 minus 4 over 7 minus negative 3. 6 minus 4 is 2. Minus minus is plus, so 7 plus 3, 10. Let's round. Divide this by 2, be 1. Divide this by 2, will be 5. So the slope is 1 over 5. Again, it's always the change in y over the change in x. This is the y coordinate, and this is the x coordinates. Let's go over number 15. Given the 2 points, find the slope of the line containing these points. The same thing. We're going to do the change in y, 10 minus negative 4, divided by negative 7 minus negative 7. Okay, remember 2 minuses makes it a positive. So 10 plus 4 over negative 7 plus 7. Of course, the denominator is 0. So 14 over 0 is called undefined. And this should be the graph of a vertical line. This must be a vertical line. Let's plot this point and show that this is a vertical line. So negative 7, negative 4, x is negative 7, and y is negative 4. So this is negative 7 over negative 4. And negative 7, 10 would be somewhere here. And notice this is a, as I said, this is a vertical line. So vertical line, they always have undefined slope. Okay, that's it. Good luck.